This is Observation. I already beat this game over the weekend, but I wanted to come back and spend a few minutes playing it with you because I love you. And also because I really liked this game. It's kind of a... Oh, here we go. Subtitles. Sync to audio, yes. There we go. All right. So this is a kind of horror game. It's more of like a suspenseful horror game. It's not the kind of like... You know, you think of horror game, a lot of times you're thinking blood and guts and gore. This is more of like psychological horror, creepy stuff happening deep in space. I like a lot of movies that are in this genre, and so I was attracted to it from that. I was also attracted to this game because Romy Ismail recommended it really highly on Twitter. Hearing some radio chatter. So I don't have a ton of time today, just got about half an hour, but we'll blast through a little bit of the beginning here and give you a sense of what this game's about.
Houston, do you copy? Houston, come in. This is Dr. Emma Fisher on board Observation Horizon Arm. Please respond.
Hello. Looks like we're on board some kind of wrecked
We've had some sort of
space station.
accident, collision or something, maybe. I don't know. The station is spinning, but I can't tell if you're falling towards Earth. I can't get a visual from here. Josh, Ailsa, someone, report in.
Oh no. Empty helmet.
Sam? Sam.
Sam?
Houston, I have no response from Sam.
I think that's me.
I'm going to attempt...
Ah, shit. Sam? Sam, are you there? Come on. Come on. Okay, Sam. I need you to give me admin access. Enable voice authentication. Dr. Emma Fisher, 10412.
All right, so this is what how this game works. So the story of the game is you are the AI on board the space station who's trying to assist this astronaut in figuring out what has happened to her crew, to her station, what's going on, and trying to kind of uncover a mystery. But step by step along the way, the mechanics of this game are you figuring out how to be a computer. Like, it's you figuring out how to work through the user interfaces and stuff on board this space station, which, you know, NASA is famous for a lot of wonderful things, but user experience and their interfaces, I think, is not typically thought of as being one of their hallmarks. So it's kind of an interesting experience. Corey H too wants to know if I've ever played Stories Untold, which is the last game by the same studio, I believe, and I have not. It's actually on my list. I plan to play it sometime after this. Now that I've beaten Observation. Okay, so it says LS to analyze waveform. So I slide across the waveform with the left stick. And so I get to kind of decide whether to accept or reject. I've only historically done what I've been told in these scenarios, so I'm going to actually see if I can exert some free will here and accept her, even though there are errors.
Great. Thanks, Sam.
It works! I have an AI with free will.
Come on, give me something. Sam, are you there? Respond.
So I might feel a little bit of a kinship to this game, partly because it stars an AI with a human name that's actually an acronym for something, which is kind of a, it's a pretty central part of the ongoing story of State of Decay as well. Okay, so I can hold the left trigger to enter response mode, and then it starts highlighting things either in the interface or sometimes in the environment in red to say, hey, you can talk about this. So I mouse over it here, and it says I can respond by saying what I see here.
I am here.
Thank God. Okay.
So that's a general mechanic that you use throughout the game to talk.
Okay. Sam, you seem to have booted up in Module 8. I'm going to relocate you to the Horizon Utility Hub in Module 9. That should give you access to limited system diagnostics. Hang on.
So you spend the game bouncing around from camera to camera.
Listen, I'm stuck in the Horizon airlock in Module 11. I need to get into 9, but I'm not sure if it's safe to open this hatch door. Can you give me hull and pressure diagnostics on Module 9?
All right, so let's go to Module 9. And it looks like... Okay, so they're not telling me now what I need to do, but I remember from the previous situation, I need to hold the left trigger, and that highlights things that I can talk about. So I'm telling her that it is safe. The air pressure is safe.
Module 9 is fully pressurized.
Okay, that's good. Are the adjacent contact points from 9 intact?
So it looks like this is what I want to respond with.
System links in Module 9.
Oh, wait, no. Hull contacts
That's not important right now.
is not what she said. So what I would need to say is actually this.
Module 9 hull contact points to adjacent modules read true.
Good, we're still connected. Something is vibrating, Sam. Can you check the hull contact points on the other modules?
All right. So let's go to EAS 11. This one seems
Module
good.
11 hull contact points to adjacent Module 9 read true.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm in that module.
I like this time through, I'm kind of annoying the crap out of her. But she should be grateful I accepted her bad voice print.
Module 10 hull contact points to 12 read false, suggesting that Module 12 is no longer securely attached to the station.
Having played the game, I'll tell you that's an
I
understatement.
think Josh might have been in module 12. Okay. I'm coming through to 9. Sam! The hatch door is jammed shut.
See those weird symbols?
The controls aren't responding. See if you can restore power. Sam, you still there?
It's interesting.
What's going on, Sam? What is that noise?
Having already played through this game, this is all way more meaningful to me now. That says bring her behind my head, by the way. Bring her. I accept my mission. I don't want to get too deep into this game because I really want you to discover, what's going on in this story. There's some interesting little twists. I mean, the conclusions it is driving towards aren't like revolutionary or anything, but there are some surprises that are worthwhile that I found really, really entertaining when I was going through it. And the whole atmosphere. I mean, they really nail this sort of creepy, otherworldly atmosphere throughout the game.
I think I blacked out. Sam, run your self-diagnostic procedure. What errors are you showing?
All right. Okay, so I can report this.
Relocation functions are offline. I require auto-routing to access module cameras.
Okay. I can manually relocate you, but once I get out of here, I'll get your systems up and running.
Next. So a lot of this game is doing kind of rote tasks. It's like she asks you to do jobs, and while you're doing these kind of rote jobs, you end up stumbling upon, interesting information and getting into hair-raising situations. But a lot of it at its core, that sort of at the baseline level, is pretty, I'm pushing sticks to raise bars, I'm clicking boxes. Occasionally I'm trying to do something quickly or identify something fast, but it's mostly pretty straightforward. It starts getting really interesting once she installs you in a mobile sphere that you can sort of like move around the station. You can kind of join her like a character in the world.
The main memory core has been corrupted. I have lost significant station data.
Okay. So most of your system links and data logs are gone. Sam, you will need to scan, download, and recover as much data as you can.
Collection mechanic.
We need to get you back to your old self.
So when I just tap the button, it starts, but it doesn't get very far, and so that sort of teaches me that I need to hold the button to make it work. There's several places in the game where it does a good job of sort of letting you discover the mechanics, and there's a few places where it stumbles a little bit, where it's more difficult than I feel like it should be. But overall, I mean, the challenge of this game is mostly trying to figure out how things work. It's actually like it's a figuring out the UX puzzle, is what most of the game is.
The connection between crew tracker functionality and SAM OS has been severed.
So it's working, but the link is cut. I'll need to reconnect it in Central. Josh? May? Anyone? Shit. Okay. Yeah. I can't get out of here. The hatch controls aren't working. It might be a safety lockdown. You'll have to override the hatch from Module 9. Okay.
So she's relocating me right now.
Auto-routing you back to the utility hub in Module 9.
Eventually, I get to decide what cameras I look through.
Camera movement should be online now. Run a
There we
test.
go. So you can't see behind my head, but there are cameras that I can select. So first I can move around here like this with my stick, and then eventually
That's
I can
good.
switch from camera to camera.
Camera cycling should be active as well. Check the other cameras.
So each time you switch cameras, it does that little 3D rotate thing so that you can tell where they are relative to each other, which is extremely helpful.
Great. I can see your live feed updating from here. There should be a System Links reset procedure document on the wall somewhere in there. Find it and scan it. Your scan range is limited, so use your camera zoom to get closer.
One thing that's very interesting about this, when you're controlling a sphere, you use your left stick to physically translate around to move left and right and forward and back, and use the right stick to aim yourself up and down, and to aim yourself left and right. But when you're in a camera mounted on the wall, the left stick is used to aim your camera around, and the right stick is used to zoom in and out, which feels analogous to translating forward and back. So it's strange to me that they decided to basically flip the camera controls depending on whether you're mounted to a wall or whether you're in a sphere. And I'm wondering if they ever tried the alternative, if there's a reason why, like they got feedback or something that said that wasn't working, because to me that feels like that would be the most natural choice. Okay, combustion unit, CO2 refill station, sphere modification bay. What's this? There we go.
Okay. That should be reinstalling the System Link interface. Use your cameras to locate the hatch controls and any other integrated systems and equipment.
So every time you need to take control of something, you do this little pairing
Okay, looks like that is working.
protocol or whatever.
Now, use your system link interface to open the EAS-11 airlock.
So I can add any of these that I want, even ones that are irrelevant to the mission right now. And I like it. There are some places where they only unlock your ability to do something exactly when you need to do it, but largely they try to make your abilities generalized. You know, like say, oh, you can always do this. So is this the one to EAS? That's EAS 8. Which one did she want me to do? EAS 11. Okay, so this is the wrong one. I'm gonna add it anyway. So I feel like I'm actually a computer doing these weird like connection rituals and things. All right, so where is the one to EAS 11? Which one is it? So this one, oh, there it is. Notice EAS 11 is upside down because we're weightless, and that's how that works. Oh, and look, there's a laptop that I can connect to. Before I let her in, let's check out this laptop. Okay, so this is our collection mechanic. So not only are these little data bits that I'm about to grab sometimes useful in the story, but they also get collected in a place called my memory core, where I can look at it and see how much stuff I'm missing. And I think I only got maybe less than half of these in my original playthrough. So this is just talking about the camera spheres that I'm going to be using eventually later on in the game, giving me kind of a preview of what I'll be doing. And I like it when they use it this way to sort of like give me a sense of what's coming. Okay, so anyway, I should try to let her in. So, open hatch.
That's it. It's open. I'm out. Good work, Sam. Okay. Let's get this up and running. Josh? I don't know if you can hear me, but...
I hate these things.
I don't know. If I was on a wrecked space station, I would probably keep my helmet on at all times.
If you're in EAS Module 12, then stay put. The hull connection isn't secure, and most of our systems are underpowered. I'll work something out. Josh? Houston? Anyone? What? Wait a minute, Sam? Our internal communication network is fully online. Where has everyone gone? Oh, shit. Okay, station alerts.
Right, Sam, you should have access to your OS now.
You can now relocate to any module and view its camera feeds. In the EAS arm, at least. Try it now. Find that fire, Sam.
I happen to know it's over. Oh, yeah, you can get a little preview of the cameras by mousing over these guys. And I happen to see that EAS 04 is orange. Oh, look at that. A fire. So now that I'm focused on the fire, I can hold left trigger and report it to her.
There is a fire out of control in EAS 4.
Shit, I'm on my way.
Okay, so she is headed through here, I believe. Yeah, you can kind of see in the little preview window down in the bottom right. I can watch her. You can even see her in like the little green wireframe in the background. You can see her moving from hatch to hatch. At least I believe she is. Did it take her some time to get through? Yeah, EAS 8 is a weird one. It's kind of long and serpentine. It's going to take her time to get through there. And so I could be spending this time, you know, exploring and trying to be helpful. But instead, there she goes. So now she's in EAS 6.
Sam? The hatch in EAS 6 is locked down. Can you get it open for me?
All right.
It's open. I'm on my way. Relocate to EAS 3. I'll need your help when I get there.
It's kind of fun being the cameraman for this movie.
Add the EAS full hatch controls to your system links, but wait for my signal.
Okay, it looks like I need to do it from this side. And you'll notice...
Fire suppression override.
Yeah.
Dr. Emma Fisher. Okay, Sam. I need you to get ready and open the door. On 3. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. That's it. Come on!
So I didn't notice the first time through that there was a red light when I couldn't open the hatch and a green light when I could. Later on, you learn the difference between that red light and that green light.
Get the vents on in here. Clear these fumes.
The vents, huh? So you can always hold R3 to see what you're supposed to do. So vent fumes in EAS-04. Also, if you want her to repeat what you're supposed to do, you can hit X.
Please repeat your previous request.
Well, I don't want to move inside. Vent the fumes first, Sam.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, there we go. They're giving me as many rote tasks to do as I can so I get really used to this process. Eventually, it gets more complex in some cases. Corey H is saying this looks really stressful.
That's it, it's working. The fumes are dissipating now.
Oh, Fortune Rocket points out that taking off the helmet might be a good idea if you don't want to rely on your oxygen tank, if those are in short supply. That's a really good point. Report damage in EAS-02. Okay.
The rack units have been damaged beyond any functional use.
Overall, that's not too bad, considering. What started it? What was the source, Sam? We need to stop it happening again.
Is it this?
Residue on panel LFE1 indicates a potential source.
What? That's just a blank plate. Let me see.
I love that. Now I don't know how accurate this is, but yeah,
It's like
gross.
A bit grease or oil.
But the way these characters talk, they make me feel like they're giving me a window into a
storage above that's leaking.
place in a jargon that I don't really know.
Sam, give me a status report.
There is significant stress being applied to EAS-12. Immediate separation recommended.
Please, if there is anyone in Module 12, make yourself known now. We are about to jettison the module. Someone, please respond. This is getting much worse. Okay.
People are
Sam, get
making
ready for
light of this
separation
situation in the
procedure.
chat.
Okay, first, process my authorization code and give me a security override key. 1442 413324.
2, 9, 03419.
Got it. Inputting now. Hurry, Sam. Target the jets and push the module away safely.
So, you end up doing this later under much more important circumstances, and I'd forgotten that I had learned it this early. That's interesting. I won't tell you what it's for later.
Sam, we've stopped spinning. We've stabilized. I think we're okay. Listen, I'm going to relocate you to the external cameras and see if we can get a better view of the station. Or what's left of it.
All right, we're coming up on the end of my time that I have at lunch, but
Signals are weak and distorted.
I think we got a good cliffhanger coming up.
We should be right above Houston. Can you detect any damage, Sam?
EAS-12 is still tethered, with unusual structural damage.
It's like a hole has been cut out of it. What would do that?
Let's look at a different camera.
We must have spun off course. Damage doesn't look too severe. Just isolated sections.
Yep. No big deal. Nothing to see here. Doop-de-doop-de-doop. Yep. Looks like a normal space station. Ah, look at these lovely solar panels. I'm sure that when I switch to camera 5, nothing out of the ordinary is going to be here. Oh, it wasn't camera 5? Alright, that's cool. I thought something was coming, but I guess not. Alright. What am I trying to do, exactly?
Please repeat your previous instruction.
Have a look around, Sam. Tell me what you see.
The primary solar panel array on the EAS arm has been torn off.
That explains the lack of power.
Alright, is that it? So one of the problems with this game that happens a few times over the course of it is that sometimes it's hard to identify exactly what the game wants you to do. Like right now, okay, she wants me to report on the damage. It's hard for me to be certain when I've seen all the damage that she wants me to report on.
The RU arm upper modules are badly damaged.
The damage seems to be localized to the upper part of the arms. I'm going to connect to the distance cam.
Okay.
Should see where we are above
I've
Earth
got it all now.
and if we've lost any altitude.
Here it comes.
Oh my God, Sam. That's... How did we get here?
Oh, I brought us here.
I brought you here. It seems.
What? Why?
I don't know.
So that's where I'm going to leave you guys. because I don't want to reveal any more of this story. But that is Observation. I had a lot of fun playing this over the weekend, and now I'm having trouble getting my cursor back so I can actually try to. Do I have to just quit? Maybe I have to quit. Okay, so that is Observation. That's the beginning of Observation. It plays a lot like any sci-fi in a bottle suspense thriller that you might have seen. It's got the same kinds of surprises and mysteries and disturbing things happening to people, and it's right up there with a lot of the movies that I watch on Netflix. So they did a great job with it, and I had a lot of fun. So this is the kind of game you're interested in. Then I think it's worthwhile, especially because I don't have a lot of time to play games, but I was able to get through this one, with just a couple of days, few hours each day, and I thought it was well worth my time. So let's just go to end screen mode and get out of here.